Thank you for joining me on the channel today. My name is Trent. We are going to do a hot take today, and this is mine. Today's hot take is all about cars that should not be rebooted. The auto industry is much like the movie industry. Let's take an old movie that was popular, repurpose it, repackage it, and then put it out and hope we get lots of money. And it has worked with some vehicles like the Ford Mustang or the Chevy Camino, at least for a little while, and the Dodge Challenger. Ford even rebooted the Maverick as a small pickup truck. So what vehicles should not be rebooted? And the first one goes along the lines of the Maverick. It is the El Camino. Yes, the El Camino has a cult following, and it should stay that way. A cult. Because you know, if modern day Chevy comes out with an El Camino, it will be a four-door, it will be electric, and it will lose all of ute soul. There was a time where I thought an El Camino could really happen here when they had the Pontiac G8. It would have been very easy for them to come up with a ute from Australia and bring it here. But they missed that opportunity. And now they're stuck. The only things that they have going forward involve electrification, and the El Camino really has no place in the future automotive landscape. Next up, we have the Ford Thunderbird. Now, this is one that Ford has tried to reboot before, and it was met with middling success. Granted, it was not that great of a vehicle. Ford went rummaging through the parts bin to try and create a new Thunderbird, and honestly, it looked the part, but everything else about it missed the mark. Outside of the Mustang, history shows Ford really can't reboot a classic vehicle and make it successful. Look at the Ford Taurus. Ford came out with the Ford 500, they installed a new CEO, and he said, "We're bringing back the Taurus name," and took the Ford 500 and slapped a new name on it. Did it improve the sales at all? No. We're definitely entering an age where retro is harder and harder to live up to the nostalgia because everything is changing in the automotive landscape right now. And if you think that Ford and Chevy are good at screwing up classic nameplates, well, you haven't seen anything yet. Granted, a lot of people probably think I'm going straight to Dodge for this one because they came out with a four-door Charger. I'm actually going to Mitsubishi. Yes, Mitsubishi does still exist, and they are doing a fantastic job of butchering classic names like the Eclipse, which they've rebooted as a very slow, kind of fits right next to their Outlander Sport SUV. Just makes no sense. But they did it anyway, and was it a sales success? No. Had they come out with a competitor to like the Toyota 86, I think they would have seen their brand revitalized. It may not sell as many as the Eclipse Cross, whatever it's called, but they've already rebooted that name, so that's not going to be the next one on the list. It is actually going to be the Lancer Evolution. Now, Mitsubishi has talked on and off over the years about rebooting this as a fully electric car, and I just have to say, don't. Mitsubishi does not have the marketing budget or the manpower to come out with this and execute it in the right way. So instead, they'll cobble something together, slap a name on it, and hope that it brings in people to the dealership. And here's the thing, it won't. In a world where 600 horsepower really isn't that much anymore, you cannot expect Mitsubishi to not screw this up. Go ahead, reboot the Lancer name, I don't care. But as soon as you touch that Evo name, we're gonna have a problem. And the final one on the list, also a Mitsubishi, the only 90s sports car that hasn't been rebooted yet. So competing with the Toyota Supra, the Nissan 300Z, we have the Mitsubishi 3000 GT. Mitsubishi, don't do it. I can't stress this one enough. This was a classic vehicle, something that is appreciating now and was so insanely complicated by early 90s standards. But it had charm and soul and it fit the part. Although it was never as successful in the United States as say the Supra or the 300ZX, it still found its way into the heart of many people. And relating back a lot to what I just said about the Lancer Evo, Mitsubishi can't do it right. They will borrow a platform from somebody, stick some generic electric drivetrain in there, maybe give it a decent amount of horsepower, but they really don't have the same crew that they used to that could really execute this well. It would end up being a middling performance in terms of handling coupe, or knowing Mitsubishi, they may make it their new truck or their new 7-passenger SUV. I have no idea what Mitsubishi's doing nowadays. In fact, the only time I ever see Mitsubishi in the news is when they're talking about the cheapest car still available on the market, and the Mirage comes up in that article. So if you have any decency, Mitsubishi, don't do it. don't reboot these vehicles. Is there anything that I have missed on this list? I'm sure there is, but these are the top 4 that stand out in my mind. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will catch you on the next one.